When it comes to reading the room, you have to realize that her eyes are the ultimate lie detector. You can listen to what she says, but you must watch what her eyes are doing because they reveal the truth before she even utters a word. If you're in the heat of the moment and you notice her eyes are wide open, scanning the room, or staring blankly at the ceiling like she's counting the paint chips, brother, you are in trouble. That deer in the headlights look is a massive red flag. It tells you immediately that her mind is drifting. She's thinking about her to-do list, her job, or wondering when you're going to finally finish. When her eyes are wandering, it's a clear signal that you aren't hitting the spot. You aren't connecting with her rhythm, and she's essentially just waiting for the clock to run out. To truly master this, you need to look for that specific shift the moment her gaze begins to change from being present to being possessed by the sensation. When you start hitting that sweet spot and doing exactly what she wants, her eyelids will naturally start to get heavy. We call these bedroom eyes, but it's deeper than just a look. It's a physical reaction to pleasure that she cannot fake. You'll see them start to dim and flutter, closing halfway as if she's trying to block out the rest of the world just to focus on the fire you're lighting inside her. This dim eye isn't a sign of tiredness. It's the physical evidence that you are scattering her brain and overwhelming her senses. As you keep that momentum going, pay close attention to the focus in her pupils. When a woman is genuinely feeling you, she won't be looking through you. She'll be looking into you, even if her eyes are barely open. It's a look of total surrender. It shows that she's no longer just enduring the act, but she is actively lost in the sensation you're providing. This is your green light to keep doing exactly what you're doing. You've successfully moved her from a state of being conscious and distracted to a state of pure, raw feeling. The beauty of reading her eyes is that it gives you real-time feedback without a single word being spoken. If you see those eyes snap back open or start looking around again, it means you've lost the rhythm and you need to adjust your angle or your pace immediately. But as long as those eyes stay low, hooded, and dreamy, you know for a fact that you're delivering exactly what she ordered. It's the ultimate confirmation that you aren't just another guy passing through, but you're the one who knows how to reach the places that actually matter. When you see that look, don't change a thing. Just stay in that zone and finish the job you started. The vocal signal, real versus ego boosting, if you want to know the truth about your performance, you have to stop listening with your ego and start listening with your ears. The vocal cues start long before the main event even begins. Pay close attention to her breath the moment you get close. If she's already breathless, gasping, or making those low, shaky sounds of anticipation before you've even fully plugged in, you've already won half the battle. That is the sound of a woman whose body is craving what you're about to give her. It's a natural, involuntary reaction that tells you her system is primed and ready. However, you have to be sharp enough to distinguish between a woman who is genuinely lost in the moment and a woman who is just performing to get the job over with. When she starts demanding that you go harder, you need to be a student of the intensity behind that voice. Some women will use that phrase as a polite way to massage your ego, so you'll hurry up, finish, and let them go to sleep. But you can tell the difference by the grit in her voice. When it's real, it's not a polite request, it's a desperate command. If she's screaming harder while her body is tensing up and she's on the absolute verge of pouring out her living water, then you know you've hit the exact angle she's been dreaming of. That specific, raw tone in her voice is your confirmation that you aren't just going through the motions, you are hitting the bullseye. If the sounds she's making are rhythmic, deep, and seem to come from her chest rather than just her throat, you are doing everything right. Never ignore the power of that sound. It is the GPS that tells you whether you are on the right track or miles away from the destination. The body language, proactive movement, one of the biggest lies men tell themselves is that a quiet, still woman is a satisfied one. Let's get it straight. A satisfied woman is never a statue. If you are doing your job correctly and hitting the right spots, she won't be able to stay still even if she tried. Proactive movement is the ultimate sign of a woman who is deeply connected to what you're doing. You won't have to beg her to move, you won't have to give her instructions like a coach, and you definitely won't have to ask her to turn like this or move like that. When she's feeling the intensity, she will become the navigator. She will be the one arching her back to meet you, adjusting her hips to catch a better angle, or pulling you closer because she's chasing the sensation you've unlocked. If she stays in one boring, stagnant position the entire time, just laying there like a log and waiting for you to finish your workout, it is a glaring sign that she is disconnected. A woman who isn't feeling you is just a spectator watching you work. A woman who is satisfied is a partner in the rhythm. She will instinctively guide you, perhaps turning her back to you without you saying a word, because she knows exactly how she wants to receive that pleasure. This proactive shift in her body language proves she isn't just enduring the act, she is actively pursuing it. When she starts taking the lead and moving with a hunger that matches yours, you don't need to ask if she's satisfied. Her body is already screaming the answer. That flow, that constant adjustment to keep the pleasure peaked, is the only evidence you need to know you've truly mastered the moment. The foreplay factor. Access to the zones. You have to understand that for a woman, the experience doesn't start and end with the main event. It starts with the map of her body. When a woman is truly into you and feels a deep sexual connection, she will grant you full access to her erogenous zones, those hidden trigger points that set her entire system on fire. She won't be in a hurry. In fact, she'll want you to linger there, spending your energy on the buildup rather than rushing to the finish line. If she is guiding your hands, moving your touch to specific areas, and practically begging you to stay in those sensitive spots forever, that is the ultimate sign of trust and satisfaction. She is essentially telling you that your touch has a specific value to her. She wants to soak in every second of that foreplay because you are hitting the frequencies that make her body hum. On the flip side, you can always tell when a woman isn't feeling your style or isn't truly satisfied with your approach because she will try to rush the process. She'll want you to get in and get out as quickly as possible. If she's pushing you toward the end or acting like the buildup is just a chore to get through, it means you aren't connecting with her body's rhythm. And here is the coldest truth of all. If you finish and she immediately reaches for a toy to complete the job, take the hint, brother. It means you were just the warm-up act. If she has to go back in to finish what you started, it's clear evidence that while you might have worked hard, you didn't work smart. A man who satisfies a woman makes her forget that toys even exist because his touch is more than enough. The aftermath, the cuddle, tests the absolute moment of truth happens the second the work is done. You can fake a lot of things in the heat of the moment, but the aftermath never lies. This is the cuddle test, and it's the most accurate gauge of whether you actually delivered or just wasted your energy. When a woman has been truly satisfied, when you've hit the right angles and met her expectations, she will instinctively gravitate toward you. She'll stay glued to your side, riding the high of the dopamine and oxytocin you just triggered in her brain. You'll find her stroking your beard, romancing your chest, or just resting her head on you like she never wants to move. This isn't just about being affectionate, it's a physical reaction to a job well done. She feels safe, relaxed, and incredibly grateful for the experience you just provided. In fact, a well-satisfied woman will often go out of her way to show that appreciation through her actions. She might start asking what she can do for you, or even offer to get up and make you a meal. This is her way of saying thank you for the effort and the pleasure you gave her. But compare that to the woman who jumps up the second you're done. If she's in the shower before you've even caught your breath, or if she's already dressed and checking her phone without a single word of connection, you miss the mark entirely. If there is no afterglow, there was no real fire to begin with. Standing up and leaving immediately is a sign that she was just enduring the act and is glad it's over. You might have exhausted your energy and done OT, but if she isn't beside you wanting to stay in your space, you didn't get it right. The cuddle is the signature on the contract. Without it, the deal was never closed.